Hello, everybody, and welcome into another edition of The Rundown here on GamecockCentral.com. My name is Kendall Smith, and tonight I am joined alongside of Collyn Taylor at Williams-Brice Stadium following South Carolina's 30-0 loss against the Clemson Tigers to end off their regular season. And Collyn, 1989 was the last time that South Carolina was shut out against Clemson. The Gamecocks haven't scored a touchdown against Clemson since 2018. So obviously something needs to be done offensively for the Gamecocks before they head into a bowl game. When they go back to the drawing board, what do you think they'll do?
They got to figure something out on the offensive line. We've talked about it a lot. This year it seems a lot like 2 steps forward or 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And you saw signs of life against the Floridas and Auburns of the world, but then you take steps back against Missouri, and then obviously you have a night like tonight where you couldn't get anything going really offensively. I think 12 first downs, you didn't look good at all doing it. So there has to be something that changes offensively, whether that's a play calling standpoint, whether that's staff changes, whether that's scheme tweaks. Something has to be done because right now the way South Carolina is playing from a consistency standpoint, it's just not getting the job done offensively.
Clemson running back Will Shipley had 128 yards tonight. South Carolina had 43 rushing yards in total. So do you think it came down to the offense? Do you think it was that South Carolina just wasn't prepared? Was it execution? Or was it just that Clemson's better, or maybe a combination of it all?
It's a little bit of everything. Clemson's more talented, top to bottom. They have better depth. I know they're banged up, but Clemson's just a better talent-wise team. South Carolina did not run the ball well at all, which is when their offense is clicking, they're running the ball well. The defense obviously did not stop the run. They tightened up after that first drive, after the first couple drives, but still couldn't stop the run from the majority of the night. And Clemson just was better than you tonight and for the past 7 years. And I know it's hard. It's very frustrating for South Carolina fans to hear something like that, but Clemson's just right now better, and they showed it wide tonight that even in what's considered a down year for that program, they still won, I think, 9 games and easily handled an in-state rival on the road. And for South Carolina, it's your job to figure out how to stop that and create more depth and find out ways to be competitive in this series, which for large stretches you haven't been.
So you talked about the defense tightening up there. Clemson was averaging 4.4 yards per carry prior to tonight. Tonight they were averaging 6.2 yards per carry. What was your overall impression of the defense from South Carolina tonight?
I thought they were in position to make plays for the most part, but missed tackles were prevalent early. They got bounced out of some gaps. Clemson's offensive line was able to kind of create some holes for them and some zone blocking schemes that they had. And Will Shipley and I think Kobe Pace made him pay. And when you have talented running backs, even though the running game struggled at times to get going, when you have talented players, that tends to happen. And it's been a thorn in South Carolina's side for a lot of the season. You saw it against Missouri. You saw it at times against Auburn. But that's the issue that's reared its head. And if you're going to clean up something defensively from this game and this season, the pass defense has been pretty good. The pass rush has been pretty good. It's about cleaning up the run game, and if you do that, then you're going to have a defense that's going to be formidable and keep you in a lot of these games.
So prior to tonight's game, a lot of South Carolina players talking about how this game would be decisive of what program would run the state. If you're Shane Beamer and the Gamecocks, how do you still make that pitch to recruits saying, hey, you should come to South Carolina instead of going to a school like Clemson?
Yeah, if you're Shane Beamer, you're really selling the fact that Vegas only had you to win 3.5 games, that you're coming off a 6-16 stretch over your last 2 years, and you still made a bowl game, and you still beat Florida, and you still beat Auburn, 2 teams that on paper are more talented than you. You can sell, if you're Shane Beamer, hey, recruit X, Y, or Z. Come here. We're right on the precipice of doing something great. If you come, then you can help us get over the hump. You can be part of the program, part of the team that beats Clemson and snaps the streak and does all of that stuff, and you can sell people on that. So obviously a disheartening loss if you're South Carolina and you lose, I think, your 7th straight to your arch rival, which you never want to have happen, but you still fall back on the fact that you made a bowl game. You still have a month of practice or 15 practices left to go, and you try to capitalize on that momentum, and a bowl win for recruiting, a bowl win for a lot of different things is certainly helpful for this program.
Like you said, South Carolina, a bowl-eligible team this year. As we finish out the rundown for the year, give me your bowl prediction for the Gamecocks. What bowl game you think they're heading to?
as it stands on November 27th or whatever it is, I'll say AutoZone Liberty Bowl a couple days after Christmas is my official prediction.
Well, we will officially know on December 5th what bowl game South Carolina is heading to. But until then, stay up to date with everything South Carolina Gamecocks on GamecockCentral.com. I'm Kendall Smith. He's Collyn Taylor here at Williams-Brice Stadium following South Carolina's 30-0 loss against the Clemson Tigers. We'll see you back here for a bowl edition of The Rundown, the final one of the season, in just a few weeks. But until then, thanks for joining us.